All right, everyone. So we are back. We are going to do the oracle reading on Harry Styles. So I had took out some cards, and again, you guys can't see the ones that I took out, but as I was pulling and the cards that I pulled out, well, there are some things, but I'm just gonna, explain it to you card by card, and you'll see for yourself. Also, yes, this was recorded another day because the other day I did the previous readings, but it just takes the whole day when you are pulling on more than at least two people. So we got Harry. So let's get started. That's not important, but we're going to get started. So I pulled out some cards. Again, these are cards that represent how Harry currently feels, and his energy is focusing on, what it's surrounded by. But this is regarding to, like, if a One Direction reunion were to come up, or something like that. So this is the first card here that we have. So the first card for Harry, we have round and round, cycles, triggers, lessons. So this card is saying that throughout the time when Harry was in One Direction, there could have been some triggers that had been going on. There could have been cycles repeating the same thing. When I say the word cycle, it's basically saying that, say, for example, you've been through, you're in this group and you've been through certain things. And the idea of being around the same people, or the idea of, trying to be, at one group itself, those cycles will return those triggers. See, triggers, like something in your head would be like, oh, I remember this happening. This was the worst moment in my life, and I just don't want to deal with it anymore. And following with Harry going through these experiences, following him going through that, he learned a lesson. And the lesson is that he basically doesn't want to be associated with it, at least not during this time. You guys will see during, at least with Zayn card, with Zayn, Louis, and Niall, that the Harry could, it almost seems like it's a little iffy, but you're going to see that in a bit. You're going to see that. So we have round and round, cycles, triggers, and lessons. Okay, so these other two cards I want to show you, these are the next two cards. We have the Queen Bee card again. Secure, confident, boss bitch, career, focus. And the next card that we have living in the moment. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist. You guys understand what these two cards mean, right? It means that Harry is career focused only within himself. He's secure, he's confident. I'm not going to go into detail because I know I did a full reading on Harry. Again, that's on One Direction playlist. If you guys are curious, you haven't seen it. But yeah, right now, Harry is about being focused within his career, and right now just enjoying the moment, just enjoying himself and living in the moment and living, like as a person. He doesn't want to go back to that. He also has a karmatic ties card. So this card represents that Harry has overcome like some karma. This card that came out in a previous reading pertaining to him, I believe it came out with him and zaynmalik. Okay, guys, so I wanted to get a little bit more clarification on the karmatic ties card. And basically, upon research, it says a karmatic relationship, which is a karmatic relationship. And it can be, like a romantic relationship, a friendship. But I put it in a sense of a friendship. It says where two people connect from past lives to resolve unfinished issues, knowing when to walk away can help. So there appears to be like a karmatic energy, like regarding Harry Styles and a group member or a specific group member. It's saying that the karmatic ties means that it came to a close. It came to it came to an end. Like whoever member he was having that karmatic tie with has come to an end. That it was amended, and he has the ability now to walk away and to do his own thing. And the next card that we have for Harry, now this just seems like it's a constant habit when it comes down to him. You know, I told you, expressed to you guys, and of course, if you guys that have not known the readings I done on Harry, he always will forever have intuition cards, like intuition, spiritual gifts. He's a person that is very, very intuitive, and this card highly qualifies or highly speaks for that. So we have that. And let me look over on these other cards here as well. So let's look at this one, the path of unknown, the path unknown. The path ahead in the relationship is uncertain yet hopeful. Okay, I feel like I'm looking at that one a little too early. Let me put this one on the side. We're going to hold these. I'm going to hold those for a second. Okay, but let me show you this. These are the two whammies here. All right, so the next cards we have the funeral card. We have empty room, no people, the end, opportunity. So again, you guys, it does not take a rocket scientist to tell you what this means coming from Harry's end regarding a One Direction reunion, regarding being associated with the members overall, allegedly. All right, so we have those. So let's go over now to the cards that I pulled out for each individual. We're going to start with Zayn. Okay, we're going to start with Zayn. And let me put them in this order. I feel like it's so much easier of doing that. Okay, so the card decks that we have for Zayn. We have the first card. We have Shadow. The other side coexists, reverse side. So the Shadow card, upon looking at what I feel, the reason why this had came out regarding on how Harry feels about Zayn is because it's either that allegedly he feels that he has both sides. He has two different sides about him. And it's one side that, you know, he could have butted heads with, but there is another part of Zayn that Harry is cool with, that he's more reasonable with. It almost represents like a person. See, a person, like, stand for the fact you're standing in the wall, sunshine on you, you have a shadow, you have yourself, and then you have that shadow. So that represents like two people in one person. That's how it feels with me. But that is what I'm getting on how Harry feels about him. The next card that we have, now this one is rather odd. We have pet, dogs, cat, animal friends. Now, I don't want to be rude and disrespectful by thinking or saying that, Harry thinks of Zayn as a dog, or he thinks of him as a pet. Look, I don't know. You tell me. I don't know why a pet card appeared in the reading. This could also mean like something else. Maybe Harry would get a dog or a cat in the future. Maybe even name it Zayn. We don't know. I don't know why this card came out, but you know, I had to share it. So we have Pat. The next card that we have Crown, Owner, Master, Top Level. So this is a really big change depending on the last reading that I done on Harry and Zayn. That now in this current energy and how Harry feels, he looks up to Zayn like as a king. I don't want to say that, like as a king. It's almost like if he were to see him, he wouldn't mind giving him his props on his success. Because you see, you know, we have a crown, and I was telling you guys that all of the members, yes, they were able to elevate and become successful artists in their own light. So I feel like with Harry, he wants to, if he were to have the opportunity to be able to engage with him, he wants to give Zayn props, you know, regarding his success. And the next card that we have Run Away, Get Away, Keep Away, Give Up. So I feel like it's that shadow side again. So we have Harry feeling about Zayn this way, and then we have this other card, which is another way. So I feel like there's a reason why this card came out, and I want to. And then also we have Move On too, like move on. It's indicating Harry wants to move on for Zayn. It seems like, again, y'all, that there was something, and I feel like I picked up a little bit on this pertaining to them too, about there is something that went on. See, we have two-faced boundaries, run away, keep away. So Harry is another member that, yes, he has his boundaries up, especially when it comes to Zayn, because it's alleged that Zayn could have been like two-faced against them. We have run away, walk away, keep away, give up. So there were times that, you know, he was dealing with so much, he felt like that he was running away. And we have the boundaries and the two-faced it. Behind these two cards, we have silence, keep silent, coercion, hint. So there was something that pertained to, again, them both, that they had to be silent about. Like, you know, either Harry felt like he was being silenced in a certain situation. Now I can show you guys this card here about the real story. The true story will come into light. So allegedly, some beans may be spilled sometime in the future. Silence, you know, trying to keep secret about something. Whatever is hidden, or whatever the case may be, the truth appears that it may come out. Alright guys, so those are all for Zayn's cards. Now we are going to transition over to Louis. So let me get all his cards together. I'm just going to pick them up like so. Okay, so the next cards that we have, this is Harry pertaining to Louis. We have signs, risk, opportunity, safety. So when this card came out and what I was looking at, I feel like that this is another one of those cases where roll the dice, you know, like taking a risk to talk to this person, taking a leave, being safe about it, being precautious about it. I feel this is one of the things that Harry is definitely feeling. This is one of the cases that Harry is feeling towards Louis because of, you know, again, I ain't going into detail with it. Look at the video. So we have signs, risks, opportunities, safety. The next card that we have naive. So this could either mean that during the time when, you know, Harry and Louis were like, you know, like together in a groove and, you know, conversation before the band broke up. Either he feels like he's being naive, or he felt like Louis at certain times was naive. Alright guys, so the next card that we have the divine timing card. Wrong time, right time, wait. So upon looking at this card, I feel when it comes down to Harry and Louis, I feel like that this is a message from Spirit saying that if Harry and Louis were to meet, it could be possible that, you know, right now it could be, allegedly, it could be the wrong time for them to meet. Spirit is saying, you know, that, you know, he should wait on it, and then he would trust in his intuition to know that what would be the right time that him and Harry could meet with one another and talk and conversate. The next card that we have longing. See, longing. So, you know what longing means? Longing is like, I long to talk to you. I long to speak with you. So, Harry is ready. He's ready. But he has to wait again upon his intuition before, if he decides he wants to reach out, or vice versa. The next card that we have a new outlook. We have the new outlook. So this goes to show that Harry right now, he's looking at, you know, this whole thing with One Direction, you know, like everything that he's been through in his past all the way up to now. He's looking at it in a new outlook. That's why I tell you guys that he, you know, rather just wants to be to himself and work on himself and his own career. The next card we have Drama Queen. So there's alleged that Harry could think that Louis was at times a drama queen. And then the last card for Louis, we have Rock Bottom. So with the Rock Bottom, I'm getting a feel like this comes from to how everything was before with them prior to them breaking up. There could have been a period at this time, at that time when, you know, Harry was just feeling down and depressed and feeling like, you know, he was at rock bottom because of the things that happened between him and Louis, allegedly. Alright guys, so these are the cards that now pertain to Harry and Niall, and we're going to go over them right now. So the first card that you guys see, we have Rest, Pause, a Journey, New Beginning. This card, it came out twice, and again, it's a representation, like going back to the New Outlook card. It's like a new beginning on how Harry would like to go forward, engaging with Niall. The next card that we have Change, Transformation, Newborn, Evolution. So there appears there's going to be like a sense of change that's between Harry and Niall. And the next card after that, you guys, we have Reconcile, Repair, Cure, Understanding, Succession. So it appears that it could have been like some things that either, you know, Harry was feeling about Niall, or, you know, Niall was feeling about Harry. But it shows that he wants to reconcile with them. He missed talking to him, and he would like for them to catch up on some things. Now I want to show you guys this card. Let me go forward. We're going to see this one. We have Hot and Cold, On and Off, Detached, Ghosted. So this, what I feel, that this was how it was like during the time when him and Niall were in the group, closest to what I feel when the group was coming to an end, that there was a sense of detachments, you know, like on and off. There were good days, there were bad days. There were times when people, you know, where each one of the members of the group were feeling detached towards one another. We also have these two cards, you guys. This is the first one. We have the cold shoulder. Someone is deliberately distancing themselves, hiding dissatisfaction. So this is another card pertaining to Harry's energy regarding the group. And there was a sense where you see that cold shoulder, like being ghosted. You know, they weren't really talking to one another like that prior to when the group ended. So yeah, hot and cold attached. There also appears to be like a toxic lifestyle. This goes back to what I was pulling on with Zayn about how he felt like being in the group was like a toxic environment. It was a toxic lifestyle. Another thing that we could also say pertaining to this, if this pertains to Harry and the group members itself, I wouldn't be surprised if I were to, you know, use this card deck pertaining to all of them and this card came out and we heard this, you know, coming from Liam, that the boys were, I'm sorry that I keep saying boys, that the members were exposed to things, you know, very fastly. One of the things is pertaining to alcohol. You see this girl and, you know, she has a drink in her hand and you have another person that's feeding her alcohol. That is what, that was definitely one of the other things. And as well as, you know, them being engaged with older women, but that's another topic and I'm not going to go there with that. But yeah, it's alleged that, there was a sense of toxicity between Harry and Niall, like during the time when they were together. The next card that we have rejected. So yeah, that goes back, you guys, with the cold shoulder, that either something had happened, allegedly something had happened between Niall and Harry and Niall. There was a sense of falling out, allegedly. And because of that, allegedly Harry feels messed up about it. This could be something that every time, like going back to that cycles card, you know, the cycles card that I pulled out the first time about cycles triggers, lessons. This could be like one of those periods when, if Harry were to think of now, that moment when allegedly they had like a falling out comes back to haunt him, and he feels he feels wrong of doing that. I feel like he feels wrong. That's why I feel like that the naive card that came out, that there were certain things that he had took on during the time when he was in the group, and he did it in a naive way. And now he wants to, wants to reconcile, and he wants to make things better. We have an under pressure card. So we have anxiety, decisions, time is running out. So he could feel like a sense of being under pressure on trying to confront, to talk to Niall. I'm getting a feeling like with all of these, with each one of the members, the remaining 4 members of the group, is that, again, you guys, there's a lot of boundaries. There is a lot of, you know, being afraid to talk. There is a certain part when, you know, if they feel like, hey, if one of the members were to call the other, then they'll be willing to talk. And then there's a little where, you know, they just don't want to be bothered with one another. But I'm just getting a sense with this whole thing that it sounds like to me that the members are willing to talk to each other, but they're going to go about it. They're going to have a shield up. They're going to keep certain boundaries. They're just going to push a little over time. And this last card will express that. So this is the last card of the reading. We have temporarily distant. The distance in the relationship is temporarily, and things may reconnect later. So right now, it appears like throughout everything that has happened, with the death of Liam, and how, they were brought together about that. When it comes down to each of them, trying to make amends with each other, it's going to take some time. They're going to be distant for now. They're going to take it very slowly. They're going to be very precautious about it. Somewhere in the future, I do feel that they may get together. They may talk about it. But it has to be on their time. We can't just be like fans and be like, oh, we want them all to be together. It seems like that there is a lot of rifts between this group. A lot of things when, there was one period where they were all working well. And then, one, got up, and then one had left, and one was elevating the way they did, and, one had it rough, one had it easy, whatever the case may be. But all will be revealed, what I feel, all will be revealed in the future pertaining to them. But right now, they want to stay, distant with one another. And I should have left that at the last part with me saying this, because there's one more thing that, I want to do before we close this reading out. So let me grab my yes or no cards here. So we're going to ask on Harry's side. Now, I know we saw like the funeral cards pertaining to Harry is not interested. And, there's no way of, it said plain as day, but I like to re-ask. That's the Virgo in me. So let me bring this up closer. So I'm going to ask Spirit one last time. Let's ask Spirit, pertaining to Harry Styles, will he be willing to do a One Direction reunion with the other guys? So Spirit, will Harry Styles be willing to do a One Direction reunion? Okay, guys, I do see a card coming out, and we have Think Again. So, think again. All right, guys, so that's closest to what I'm saying. So, long story short, it appears that Harry is not interested in a reunion. Like, again, when it comes down to like the group itself, he doesn't want to have any association with it. He wants to give the members props, except for Louis. That's another different level. But yeah, he's not interested, you guys. So we have to think again. So, all right, so that's Harry's response. All right, you guys. So that concludes this portion of the Oracle reading pertaining to Harry Styles. How does he feel about One Direction? And without further ado, I am going to wrap this up.